Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
Hey guys, this is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notify bell next to it to make sure you're always getting your new Going In Raw notifications. We're also available on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve Larson. We have a variety of reward tiers over there, Larson. It's coming up on the end of the month.
It's the end of the month.
So I'm going to be doing these digital care packages again, where you get a couple of gifts, either from the show or just silly wrestling stuff that we've talked about throughout the month. You get some desktop wallpapers, some phone wallpapers, and I've got the August digital care package. So if you guys get you get that at $5 and up. $5 a month gets you 5 bonus episodes of Going In Raw every single week, and it gets you the digital care package.
But that deal is also good for the YouTube members, yes?
YouTube channel members will receive the same. And all you got to do is click that join button, and you can have access to the bonus episodes.
While you look through the new patrons over the weekend, we got a new member, Dragon Reborn.
Dragon Reborn.
New
That's
member
a
of
familiar
Slow
name.
Wolfpack, yes.
It's a familiar name.
Dragon
now.
Reborn to Slow Wolfpack.
The Reborn Dragon is part of Slow Wolfpack. We do have some new friendos. Angelina Licelli, Matt Hanselman, Mr. O'Shea, and Marinko, all new patrons.
Welcome.
At $1, you get a shout out and you get the show ad free.
Yep.
You can import your RSS feed into your favorite podcast app that isn't called Spotify.
Yes. Before we proceed with the news, Twinewinder here in chat says this weekend is Triple Mania. We're going to be doing a live stream of Triple Mania.
Oh, very exciting.
I think it starts at 5:30
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah, August 3rd.
Yeah.
8:30 Eastern. We're going to be sitting back there. I'm going to try to get the couch from my parents' house.
Yeah, I'm in, man. Whenever you need my dad's
the van, and hopefully we'll have some special guests joining us.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I forget, did Hilton confirm or no? I thought we confirmed in the last show.
Luchando confirmed, yes.
Yeah, it's Hilton.
Luchando.
It's the same guy. You demasked him here on the show.
Unmasked.
You unmaskerist him.
I unmaskerist him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want that thing on his face. He's got a beautiful facha.
Well,
yeah.
He's got a face.
Oh man. Anyways, that's very exciting. And here's the thing: this isn't any normal live stream coming up on the 3rd.
No, it's Triple Mania, man.
No, it's not just Triple Mania. You'll be able to watch Triple Mania.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be over on our Twitch channel though.
Yeah.
At twitch.tv/Steven Larson.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to be co-streaming that.
It's going to be a co-stream, which means you don't have to watch it on 2 things. We will be there.
It'll be on one thing.
As if we will be commenting, or we will
commentating,
be commentarying over it.
However, will they lose Vampiro's expert commentary if they co-stream our stream?
I honestly don't know how that works. If our
audio supersedes their audio,
only voices you hear.
We got to work these things out.
I don't really know how that works. I'll be honest. I'll be completely honest. I will be surprised if it works.
Yeah.
At the very least, we will be live streaming on Twitch. Us
watching, yes.
Ideally, you can watch Triple Mania on the same screen.
Yes, we'll see if we can get to work. We've never done it before, so it'll probably be an abject disaster.
Unlike any other time, the frame you see on the screen will include the wrestling.
Yes.
The camera will be turned towards the wrestling.
Yes. Before we get to the news, here's a couple super chats. Nikyle says, first ever super chat, too sweet from South Africa.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Nikyle. And then Enforcer Stevie Bradley says, have a good week of shows, guys. Baba Booey.
Baba Booey. We also got a super chat from Dariak. We also got this box here. We're going to open it later in the show.
Oh, from the Enforcer.
I wonder what the Enforcer sent us. There's a tease for you. There's a cliffhanger.
You said you know.
I do know.
I don't know.
I think he sent me a picture. I thought maybe us a picture. I don't know what it was. He found something. I know what they are.
But you won't tell me. You refuse.
No,
I just realized we're both wearing shirts that we got for each other.
Oh, you got this for me?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. This is like one of my favorite shirts. This gets by far the most compliments of any shirt I get because everybody loves Stone Cold.
Of course. And it looks, for a WB shirt, fairly comfy.
Oh, this is actually WWE.
Yeah, it's actually a WWE shirt.
Oh, wow, it is actually really comfy. That's surprising to me.
At one point, they sold shirts that were.
It's like soft.
Wait, hold on. Sean Lathrop, G1 idea. Okada beats Moxley in the finals and faces Omega at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, speaking of which, did you watch an AG1 this weekend?
No, I didn't have a chance to.
I did watch Jay White versus...
I didn't. Anyway, it was last weekend.
Takagi.
No, I did watch them. Sorry. Yes, I did watch them.
What did you watch?
I watched Okada Ospreay.
Ooh, yeah, I saw that
Marvelous.
too. Yeah, that was really good.
I watched...
I'm not sure I'd give it... What did he give it? What did Meltzer
5
give it?
3/4.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd do that.
It's not as good as Ospreay Shingo.
Really?
I don't think it was.
Did I see that one?
I think you did. Yeah, you did. You watched it here.
I mean, it was worth an extra star just for that chop.
Oh, that chop was marvelous.
That chop was amazing.
I watched Ibushi and Ospreay.
Oh, how was that?
That was good.
Yeah. I saw. I watched Moxley versus Naito. I was surprised they had Moxley go. I mean, I guess.
Was it a good match?
I guess at this point, I'm not surprised. Yeah, it was good. The character stuff was really, really good. Man, Naito took that Death Driver. Is that what he calls it?
Death Rider.
Death Rider, right on the head, man.
I watched Mox and Ishii. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fine.
And then Naito and Yano. I watched that.
I love that one.
That's a good palate cleanser. It's fun.
It really is. It really is. Yeah, dude, Mox is basically going to the finals at this point, right?
Yeah, he'd have to go on a massive losing streak. He'll lose to Juice.
Yeah. I don't know about what. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he will.
No, man.
But still make it to the finals.
I don't think he's going to lose to Juice.
I guess, but if that's the case, he's probably going to face Okada in the finals and lose to Okada.
Yeah. No, I think your suggestion last week
that
is probably going to happen.
Okada wins the G1.
I think so.
And he gets to pick his opponent for Wrestle
He's
Kingdom.
godlike right now. He is ridiculously godlike.
Right now.
I know he's been for. Well, come on, Red Okada wasn't godlike, dude. That was pedestrian.
Well, yeah, I guess
that was
so.
Have a beer with him, go fishing with Okada.
I know, maybe my favorite Okada still.
He's another level right now.
He's amazing. There's a couple sequences in that Ospreay match that were out of this world.
Yeah.
Out of this world.
Oh, I know.
Oh man, we got a bunch of new super chats talking about that.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Tyler and Miller, thank you. Tom Talks Rubbish. Hi, I love what you guys do. Miss Steve.
Oh, thanks, Tom.
Chino Brady, for the love of God, can I get a 2 sweet? That's up to Steve.
Oh, I'll give you a 2 sweet all day long, Chino Brady.
Wang Choco, I live in D.C. If you guys are coming for AEW, tickets are hell of expensive. Don't think I'll go, but I can show you a couple bars.
Oh, wait a second. When? Oh, we have info on that.
We do later on, yes.
When they're going to go on sale, right?
Yes, yes.
How does Wang know that they're expensive, though?
Because they released the prices. I have that information, too.
Ooh, so you have that information, which I don't have.
Yes.
And I have the information about...
But anyways, let's get to this news here. Yes, we'll get to that, too.
Hey, who wants to talk about CM Punk? Raise your hands. No? Nobody?
I do. I'll talk about CM
Larson.
Punk.
Okay,
yeah,
does.
because wow.
Wowie, wow.
Wow, after his CM Punk's interview last week with ESPN, it raised the eyebrows of a lot of people because he was talking, I want to say trash about the Elite. He was voicing some frustrations about him friendly texting them and them using that for publicity themselves.
Name dropping is the term. I do have to note, though, on I think it was Thursday's bonus episode for patrons, $5 and up, we do a dramatic reading of his full interview with ESPN.
Yes.
So if you want to check that out.
Yeah, we weren't anticipating it catching fire like it did, so we relegated that to non-news.
Sometimes we're so off with what we consider news and everybody else considers news.
I know.
It's like, well, it's a big deal. He just talks some crap. Because he does. He says, and this is, I'm sorry, but Dave Meltzer was, so we listened to his bit in Wrestling Observer Radio this morning. Dave Meltzer was saying, it's kind of unfair for CM Punk. I'm paraphrasing, but I did transcribe a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Poorly. Meltzer basically, will you agree? He said it was kind of unfair for CM Punk to call them out for name dropping. I don't agree. I think that they do.
Well within Punk's right to do that.
I know that they're asked about him a lot, but to say, we talk to him all the time, which they kind of like, I don't have their transcripts from those questions in front of me, but I have gotten that feeling that they do say that a lot.
They do say that quite a bit. Anytime his name is brought up, well, here's the thing. I don't necessarily feel like they would bring him up without that line of questioning coming up.
Correct. I agree with that.
So it's not like they're in the middle of answering a question about
hey, what kind of ratings do you
Luchasaurus.
expect? What kind of
ratings? I talked to CM Punk today. He loves Luchasaurus.
Yeah, exactly,
it's not stuff like that. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's generally when people ask him, hey, CM Punk and AEW, they'll say, yeah, we've talked to him. Mm-hmm. So I get Punk's point. I don't think Meltzer's correct in saying that's unfair.
How do you feel about Luchasaurus? You know who loves Luchasaurus? CM Punk.
Yeah.
I talked to him the other day.
Yeah. He told me he was a huge fan of Luchasaurus. Well, Cody, after the ESPN interview, tweeted in response to a fan's question, who was asking, well, will AEW actually offer Punk or deal not via text message? And that's what Cody said in response. Quote, I think he was misquoted. Ooh. I know one of us had met with him in person, and yes, I texted him plenty when we couldn't connect on the actual phone, but not a contracted offer. I wouldn't be surprised if he went back to WWE.
Oh, I should have bolded that right here.
That's something to bold that. I should have bolded that because I put that in there.
I'm going to highlight it too.
Italicize it too.
Yeah, okay.
Regardless, great wrestler and guy, door is open if he wants. Now, if you take the WWE line out of here, this sounds like a fairly diplomatic answer.
Yeah.
That WWE line,
yeah,
he's sticking it.
You think that's a jab?
I think it's a work jab. I don't think it's a shoot jab. Cody's not the type who jabs on social media unless it's in the context of a story.
Man, he had an entire Triple H throne erected so that he could destroy it.
I know, but it's to tell a story in the ring as part of the wrestling show.
Yeah, but it's a jab.
That's a jab, but
that's a shoot jab.
That is, but it's also in the context of the story they were telling in the ring, and that Cody was absolving Dustin, his brother, of his sin of being in WWE. Essentially,
I don't think he's above. Because here's the thing. Listen. Here's the thing. This is the most harmless jab ever. It wouldn't surprise me when we went to WWE because somebody's saying. How humiliating is it for somebody to say, "Oh yeah, Larson, he name drops me all the time," you know?
Yeah.
So of course, this is the silliest.
So it'd be like me if "Oh yeah, I know those Funhouse guys really well. Used to work with them."
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And they're like, every time Larson, this up and coming guy, our competition talks about. No, that's a wrong analogy actually. But yeah, I think that this is a very, very. I'm not even going to say petty. I'm going to say it's a very silly, tongue-in-cheek, juvenile shoot jab.
It could be,
but I don't think it's petty. I think it's Cody being, he wants to say we're name droppers. Okay, I'm going to lay this at his foot, and now he's going to have to deal with this, including shows like ours talking about this, even though we both know it's kind of ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I don't know. Just the vibe I got off Cody is he's not generally one. Apart from storyline purposes, to use Twitter to amp up beef.
No, I don't think, and that's the thing. I agree with you.
And I
don't think this even comes close to beef, though.
Maybe not from his perspective, but it can get people talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's going to put more questions in front of Cody and a hell of a lot more in front of CM Punk.
I know, which is just a minor annoyance. This is no beef.
I don't know,
I don't think this is a big deal.
I know StarCast and All Elite are two separate entities. However, they are closely intertwined and related to one another. And I don't know.
What kind of response something like this would probably elicit from CM Punk? A text message to Cody saying, "You dick."
Maybe.
Yeah. And then like a laughing emoji or something.
Maybe.
That's the level that this, because I agree with you. I don't think Cody's not the kind of guy who would instigate beef. Mm-hmm. I agree with you, but he'll defend himself, and this is a very silly, childish way. In a way that's acceptable to defend himself. That's why I honestly personally think it's a shoot. I don't think that there's like, oh, he's actually signed with us. He's going to be showing up.
No, I don't think that's necessarily the case either. But it's a situation like, oh, okay, this is something. Maybe Cody read the interview. Maybe he didn't know Punk felt that way, and there was some communications. Hey, man, apologies.
But where do you think? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he went back to WWE. What's your take on that again?
Oh, that's just.
You don't think it's a jab?
I don't think it's a jab. I don't think it's a jab per se, a serious jab. No, I think it's an attempt just to get conversation going. But I think they're probably if it is that, then it's a situation where Cody's like, "Oh, hey man, apologies for being annoying. Here, I got something funny. I'll respond with, and we'll laugh about it."
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's the same thing, but I don't think
that's what I mean by
when you say
worked.
It's
no, it's not like CM Punk's showing up.
Yeah, okay, no. Yeah, just want to clarify that.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's any instance right now where CM Punk's going to show up at All Out in any sort of wrestling capacity.
You know who else thinks about that, man? The Wrestling Observer himself, Dave Meltzer, who of course is the unofficial / official spokesman for AEW. Is that correct?
I mean, he's not. It's not a salary position for him.
No, he even clarified, and I didn't write this part down. But he did clarify. He says, I know a little bit of what's going on over there. Actually, I know a lot about what's going on over there. Like, he just basically out and out said, yeah, I probably talk to them every single day. They run ideas by me.
You know how the Young Bucks name dropped CM Punk That's analogous to how much Meltzer mentions AEW.
Oh my God, it is. Yeah, it's off the hook.
Although Meltzer would do it kind of unsolicited, I feel.
And
like.
I've said this in the past. Like I do feel like it's a tough situation for Dave Meltzer to be in. I mean, they have been some of his closer friends, seemingly, in wrestling, and for them to suddenly achieve the level of success that they have, and you're a journalist, that is not an easy. I would think that's not an easy position
to be
in.
a journalist, and then also, to a certain degree, they're trusting him to be unofficial spokesman, like the Pac stuff. Mm-hmm. He was the first to really kind of give a reason for why Pac didn't show up at Double or Nothing, and I'm guessing that was all direct from either Cody, the Young Bucks, or some combination thereof. And that is a tough spot for an unbiased, independent journalist to be in.
Yeah, you want to try to keep your credibility. And exactly. I know a lot of people out there think, "Oh, Meltzer credibility," but I honestly think that the guy tries to keep his credibility as much as he can. He tries to shoot it straight, and that's a difficult position to be in because they're obviously not going to want to let all this stuff out there. But they're probably going to be talking to him about this stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, while there's been talk of CM Punk working with AEW after Cody Rhodes' recent comments, Dave Meltzer has noted he hasn't signed there, and all signs point to a no deal, kind of like Brexit, a no deal.
Yeah, that's what Cage Side Seats had said about it, but then you went through and listened to Wrestling Observer Radio.
Transcript from
and
Steve.
you transcribed a lot of the stuff.
Very bad transcript, so some of it is paraphrasing. So here we go.
That's fine. Let's get the gist. That's fine. That's
fine. He said this. They want him. They've contacted him, and he isn't interested. And they made another pitch for this pay-per-view. I'm sure they tried to make another pitch for TV, and he says no. That's where it stands. But I think that I felt, and I'm not the only one who felt this way, I felt the way he said that probably wasn't fair to them. It's kind of like I don't see them going in there and doing promos that tease CM Punk, really. But they absolutely answer the question when it's asked. Based on what's happened, every time it's been answered, it's been an accurate answer. I think some people are reading this as a work, and it's not. Cody even made a reference that maybe he's going to WWE. When asked about WWE, that he doesn't hate them and he's moved past. That was in the ESPN interview. But I don't think he's going to WWE. I'd be surprised. It depends on what his goals are in life. He is different than anyone else. Time heals wounds.
He mentions Bret Hart as an example of someone he didn't think would ever go back. And
I put that down here also.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he said he was surprised specifically about Bret. He said the Jim Valley was his name, I think. The guy who was hosting. Yeah. He asked about would Punk possibly be softer on WWE, given that he in the past has been a Paul Heyman guy, and Heyman, of course, is now the executive director of Raw. Could that change things? His main thing was just the lawsuit. He said if there wasn't a lawsuit, I could see it maybe. He said he was certainly a Paul Heyman guy. I don't know what's going on today. They have major history together. I would be really surprised if there was no lawsuit. It'd be one thing. That lawsuit is so hard for me to believe for him to go back. Same thing was said about Bret. He was pretty adamant that he wouldn't go back. He told me for years he'd never do angles. He would go back for the Hall of Fame is what he told him. He said history tells you there's the possibility that it could happen. What do you think is a bigger deal, the lawsuit or the Montreal Screwjob? I'll put it this way. The lawsuit to Punk or the Screwjob to Bret? The Screwjob and, I guess, to a degree, Owen dying.
Yeah, that probably.
I think Owen dying and the Screwjob
is more of a thing.
Probably a bigger deal for Bret. And he did come back. He did run angles, and he would have wrestled. And he did wrestle. He would have wrestled a lot more if he could have physically.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I never thought it was. I thought it was highly unlikely, mostly because I don't think Punk really gave a damn about it. But I always thought about maybe a possibility that there would be an invitation for a WWE Hall of Fame induction or something like that.
I think the flip side to it is WWE really wanted Bret back, and I'm sure WWE would love to have Punk. I just wonder to what degree.
Yeah,
you know, it was kind of obvious that Triple H, and like we heard this anecdotally, wasn't the biggest fan of CM Punk, and as he sort of gets a bit more power in the company, I wonder if that would remain.
But I also wonder too now that Triple H has kind of taken a few steps further back from active in-ring competitor, focusing more on the business side of things, talent development and whatnot, he might see the appeal of having Punk back in the building, so to say.
Sure.
Especially with NXT having a heavier emphasis on signing indie talents as opposed to being exclusively a developmental promotion. So he might have reevaluated his opinion on Punk to a degree after, especially with NXT making that transition. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if at the time he just saw Punk as like, oh, here's his backyard wrestler that we're coming in. Suddenly he's WWE champion.
There's been a lot of change in Triple H's life since that. Mm-hmm. So that's a possibility. Sure.
What I'm saying is that soon to debut in NXT, Superhuman.
Look at this guy. He's dropping elbows on all sorts of appliances.
On a microwave goes over.
Oh, man. Anyways, before we continue, Larson, here's a word from our sponsor, forhims.com. I'm sure you're aware, Larson, that 2 out of 3 men start losing their hair by the age of 35. And once you notice your hair is thinning, woo, it can be too late.
And the best way to prevent more hair loss is to do something about it while you still got some hair, some follicles up there. So why try odd solutions or do nothing? We can turn to medicine and science. Of course you go with medicine and science. forhims.com has been helping guys be the best version of themselves with licensed physicians and FDA-approved products to help treat hair loss.
Hims was created by a dude who knew that some men's health conversations are easier online than in person, so Hims connects you with real doctors online, which means no more awkward doctor's visits or time wasted in long lines at the pharmacy.
Just answer a few quick questions. A doctor will review your order, and if they determine it's right for you, they can prescribe you medication to treat your hair loss. And best of all, it's shipped directly to your door. Get the hair loss treatment everyone is talking about.
And right now, Going In Raw listeners can get started with the Hims Complete Hair Kit for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last and subject to doctor's approval. Just go to forhims.com/GIR. See website for full details and safety information. This could cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy somewhere else.
That's forhims.com/GIR. forhims.com/GIR. Again, we'd like to thank Hims for sponsoring today's episode, and you're really helping out Going In Raw by going to forhims.com/GIR.
Yes.
All right, back to this Punk business.
Oh, good. We could talk more.
More Punk. Meltzer asked or talked about the nature and degree maybe of these chats, whether they be phone, Skype, Telegram,
how many
passenger pigeons.
How many millions of dollars have been offered?
Yes.
Meltzer said, I don't know the nature of the different phone conversations or texts. It may be texts. He's talked to the guys at different times. It could have been texts. When they approach with the we're willing to talk, let's talk, I don't know that he's talked. It's probably not gotten as far as you would in the sense of throwing numbers out. Then Dave talks extensively about text messaging in 2019.
Yeah, he texts. He only calls his old school friends.
If it's his old school friends, he will call them on the telephone.
I wonder if they're the ones, the old school friends, the friends he's known for all, might be a bit more adverse to the texting machine as opposed to himself.
Well, some of those wrestlers, they have big, giant sausage fingers. So
and then, they might have some arthritis in them too.
Might be difficult.
Could be difficult.
Like, they might send stuff and it just doesn't make any sense. So he's like, I'm just going to call them.
Yeah.
But
voice to text. That's what they should do. Voice to text.
Even that can be a mess sometimes. My mother-in-law does that, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, Jim Valley also asked, what was your reaction to Cody's tweet about CM Punk? CM Punk's quote potentially being misquoted.
Yes.
Because Cody said, I don't know, maybe he was misquoted. And then, was his name Mark Romani?
Yeah.
Was that his actual name? Okay. He says, I've worked with Mark for years and years, and I'm friends with him. He tapes his interview. He's not going to be the guy who misquotes people. He also talks about how a major reporter, not a wrestling reporter, a major reporter, told Cody not to be the guy who says people are misquoting. Cody doesn't really know any better, according to Dave Meltzer. He suggests maybe AEW guys should get some
media
training.
classes. Yeah,
exactly. Because if you're dealing with, especially mainstream media, it's sort of, it's not great form to say, oh, maybe he was misquoted. These major journalists have gotten to where they are not by misquoting people.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Usually they try to be accurate with their quoting if they made it that far.
Yeah. Anyways, speaking of making it far,
there you go.
Tommaso Ciampa might be making it far from his injury.
Yeah, all the way.
I had that segue down and then I just lost it.
No, that's fine. It worked. This is from Fightful. Quote, as reported recently by Fightful Select, which you should definitely subscribe to.
For sure.
Fightful does great work. Tommaso Ciampa's expected return date, at least based on WWE's rundown, is mid-August. Ciampa underwent a neck operation earlier this year that forced him to vacate the NXT Championship. It should be noted that these dates are hardly strict guidelines, and instead WWE estimates of availability. What's happening in mid-August, roughly?
Takeover.
Takeover.
Yeah, Takeover.
Like a week shy of mid-August.
Yeah.
So let's put the thought in my head. You got Ciampa. He's tweeting that he's in the tanning bed, man.
Yeah, dude. He wants Goldie back.
Yeah, he's getting himself ready to be on camera. Possibility he shows up at TakeOver in some capacity. Of course, we got this 2 out of 3 falls match with like 10 million stipulations between Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. Are they going to have Gargano pick up that belt so we can finish this Gargano-Ciampa feud for real this time? I know they had their heartwarming moment when Johnny won at TakeOver New York. I kind of consider that non-canon.
Yeah.
Probably because they didn't know how long Ciampa was going to be out, if he'd ever come back.
Yeah, going to come back.
Now that it seems like he could be cleared to return within a matter of like 2 or 3 weeks. Have Gargano pick up that belt. Let them finish this feud. He can come out at the end of TakeOver with Gargano winning that belt. Shake his hand. Congratulations. Raise his arm. Send him to the LED board. Hit him with the running knee.
It's a big no for me. I'm going to say
What
no.
if the opposite happened? What if Gargano's the one who attacks Ciampa? You're taking my moment away from me by coming out here and trying to get involved.
Look, man, I care about one thing right now.
Adam Cole, we're taking that title.
That's the Undisputed Era being draped in gold. The stage is set. That's going to happen. He has it's at this point.
You consider
destiny.
Adam Cole the Nostradamus of NXT.
I do. He is. The tea leaves are thick and informative. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. And on top of that, it seems like they'd be going kind of backwards to do that, to pick that thread back up. So I'm going to say no. And on top of that, like mid-August, I don't know. I know that like the 12th of August, because the 11th of August is going to be TakeOver. TakeOver.
10th.
I mean, that's like at the beginning of the middle of August.
Yeah, no, he couldn't be like in ring capacity.
He's going to be at the pre-show. He'll be at the pre-show, and he'll say, he'll give a more definitive answer as to when perhaps he's looking to come back.
He'll be sitting ringside like he's a new signee.
There you go. They could do that. Have him sign.
Ciampa reborn.
Because they don't do that, man. There are so many names they probably could have. What's the most surprising name that was entered in that tournament that they didn't put ringside?
Trevor Lee.
Trevor Lee. I know. Boy, that's a missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder who's going to be. Is there any signees on the horizon?
They like all the major names have been.
They did Kushida.
Yeah, but unless they start signing people from New Japan, all the major names are signed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who else they can get.
Orange Cassidy, ringside, NXT. Don't think that's going to happen.
Naito.
Again, a guy from New Japan, and they'd have to sign him.
Big deal.
I don't think that's going to happen, though.
Yeah. John Moxley. Huge name.
What about John Morrison?
No, man. I wouldn't mind seeing him in NXT, maybe. No, I wouldn't.
Johnny Next?
Johnny Next. No, man. Not into it.
Also, according to Fightful, apparently Bob Lashley is dealing with some sort of injury. It's undisclosed in their report.
Finn Balor apparently had poopy butt.
Yeah, he had stomach flu. He had to miss Smackville.
flu.
Did you watch Smackville?
I love the way you said that with the most utter disdain.
It's a terrible name.
Smackville.
It's a terrible name. Smackville.
This is a really bad name. I watched a big chunk of the Shinsuke Nakamura Ali fight.
Oh, how was that?
Pretty awesome. Like in terms of them doing like a run of the mill non-pay-per-view match.
We'll do one probably didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare for either.
Yeah, right.
So apparently, I think it was Fightful said this. Maybe it was someone else.
No, I was Select. It was this morning. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that Finn showed up after being hospitalized, and they're like, no.
I love it, man. Hey, another shout out to Fightful Select. Like, I just woke up and like I get an email and it just
news.
And
it's great.
Boom. Backstage details.
Yeah.
On stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had his stomach flu. He tweeted. He tweeted that picture out. He was getting some.
The IV fluids in the hospital with the caption SummerSlam.
But then apparently they were going to film some sort of tease between him and Shinsuke.
He's left.
And then he left. He didn't realize. Nobody told him.
Yeah.
He didn't look at the whiteboard apparently.
Well, no. They were probably like, all right, you can go. You're not well, obviously, so get out of here. And he's like, okay, and he left. And they're like, oh, wait, we'll do a beatdown angle to write you off.
What a
show.
surprise! Right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing.
Yep.
So, yeah. Let's talk about these AEW TV tickets, man.
Yeah, man, that's exciting.
We're going to go or what?
We can look into it. That's for sure. We got a week. We got till Friday to decide because that's when tickets are going on sale. 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern. Ticket prices range from $250. That's for ringside, first 3 rows. And you do get a collectible chair.
That's cool.
All the way down to $20 if you want to sit up in the nosebleeds.
That's a great price.
The Bob Uecker seats.
That's a great price right there.
So let's speculate. How well are these tickets going to sell, Steve?
For the first taping, they're going to sell out immediately.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's for the first taping for sure.
I don't know. Is DC is like a noted wrestling hotbed? I don't know.
Oh, it doesn't matter. This is going to be. It's going to be the demand, the kind of demand for like All Out has. It's going to be huge. I don't know. I mean, I can't say it like 3 months from now because it's going to be weekly. They're not going to do that every week.
I don't think it's going to be quite. I don't think it's going to be 75,000 requests. It will sell out pretty quickly. But
TV's a big deal.
It is a huge deal, but I don't think it's going to be because the reason like All Out, Double or Nothing sold out so quick, people were traveling to it. I don't know if that's going to be the case so much for a TV taping, even though it is the first one.
Well, okay, yeah, that's also the thing. It's going to be on a Wednesday.
Yes,
so
midweek.
That's kind of a big deal.
Midweek, not a holiday weekend. I don't think as many people are going to be traveling, flying cross country.
Some of these fans are crazy, though, man.
I know. I mean, like
fans are crazy.
We're considering it. But,
we're considering it, yeah.
But it'll sell out in 33 minutes. It's not going to be immediate.
Well, the bigger the more
33 minutes to an hour.
Okay, that's not really the like how many people do you think? What do you think the demand's going to be? That's sort of the bigger thing because how fast does it sell out? It's just a matter of the technology.
Yeah, more or less.
40,000? 40,000. No, really?
25, 30.
I'm saying 42,376.
Wow.
I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, write that down.
42,376.
25251.
25251. 25,251.
Yeah.
All right. What's the capacity of that place?
14
people.
14,000 people.
Okay.
Yes, 14,000 people.
Fair
14,000 people.
Fair enough.
14,000 people. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. This is really gonna be. It's not gonna be a real litmus test. I think once they start selling tickets for like their 5th TV taping, then we'll get a real idea of sustained enthusiasm. But this one should sell out, I would think, relatively quick.
I think they'll have a really strong first couple of months, and then I mean, if they look, part of the thing was they were going to run in venues that are as small as like 6,000.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's really smart if you're going to sort of stagger how big your tapings are going to be.
Somewhere between 6 and 10. It seemed like that's probably a good idea. Let's hit a couple super chats here before we do Raw preview. Simon Bronson, NZO for AEW and WWE World Champ. How you doing?
Yeah, guys, Simon's a big Enzio fan.
Guess so. Dalton, wake up. Stoned at work, eating RB Melts. Take my money.
I was a big fan of RB Melts. I mean, I still am. There's just no Arby's nearby. Is that one on Sunrise still open? The one like closer to Anatolia?
I think so.
Because the one on Madison and Fair Oaks.
Yeah, that closed. Yeah,
closed down. What the heck?
Yeah.
Took my Arby's away from me, but then I never went there anyway.
I know.
You just think about it. It's like, oh man, I don't want.
Yeah, I used to like the barbecues. I like it. You put a barbecue sauce on pretty much anything, it tastes better.
They had the best like radioactive orange cheese product.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Even their standard roast beefs were pretty good.
I
Dip it in
know.
some horsey sauce.
Back in the day, like my dad, I used to like every once in a while when I was first going to Mills, he'd say, "Hey, you want to skip school today?"
Yeah, I remember you told the story before.
Yeah.
Go to the comic store and go to Arby's. Yeah.
And 5 for $5 back then, man.
Yeah. Or we went to Taos that one time. That whole trip basically fueled by Arby's.
Heck yeah, man. Woo, boy. That was good. Well, a lot of wasn't there like our first batch of in-jokes Arby based?
A lot of them.
During the 10 for the
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's a period of time that really resonated with us.
It was all Arby's and Little Debbie cakes.
Yep. All food based.
Oh, anyways.
Anyways.
Now it's down to lentil pasta and
We get old, man.
it's time for my favorite part of the week, Raw preview. Mm-hmm. I like this better than watching Raw itself. I'll start. Rollins seeks retribution against Ziggler. The spirit of Raw.
Wait, what?
What?
Dolph never did anything to Seth.
Well, maybe it'll tell us in Raw preview. The spirit of Raw reunion carried over onto SmackDown Live when Shawn Michaels stopped by Miz TV, but the good vibes only lasted a few minutes before Dolph Ziggler appeared and blasted the two-time Hall of Famer with a super kick right to the jaw. As reported by The Wrap,
This is a stretch.
Seth Rollins, who got the... Oh, wow, that is a stretch.
That's what I'm saying.
Who got the benefit of DX backup against AJ Styles last week, seems to have stepped up in defense of Heartbreak Kid with a bout for the show-off set on Raw. The talented Ziggler should also serve as the kind of test Rollins is setting for himself at... What? As he prepares for Brock Lesnar. Granted, they're both very qualified amateur wrestlers, but that is where it stops. That's where there is nothing similar between Dolph Ziggler and... How many super kicks have you seen Brock Lesnar do?
Like Brock and Dolph would have something in common if there was two Dolphs. Combine
Right.
two Dolphs, and then you're talking.
If you raw gate Mutant, 2 Dolphs.
Then you're talking.
Continuing on. But is the Kingslayer overly occupying himself with arduous preparation and tangential retribution?
At least they acknowledge that part
is
of it.
some good vocabulary.
Yeah.
Arduous preparation and tangential retribution. Is he taking his eye off the ball? Is the central issue.
Yeah, seems that way.
Yes, he is absolutely taking his eye off
totally
the
is.
ball.
Samoan Summit set for Reigns and Joe.
Oh, this is going to be good because this is all Paul Heyman and Samoa Joe.
I know.
This is going to be great.
Samoan Pride was on the line last week when Roman Reigns battled Samoa Joe, and now that the big dog emerged victorious in the grudge match, it seems the two sides have come together in an effort to squash their beef, as reported by The Wrap.
Why are they getting these
The Wrap is getting all the early
juicy scoops?
Reigns and Joe will meet in the Samoan Summit on Monday's Raw, where the two will supposedly hash out their differences and find a way to move forward. It's a surprising turn of events between two known fighters, though there's something to be said for a desire to move forward. With that being said, talks are just as likely to break it down, and given they're both from the same island, we know what happens next.
Given that they're both from the same island, we know what happens.
Well, that's what
going to fight.
Joe or Reigns said last week. Says, well, we know what happens next, and then they fought.
And then they fight. That should be fun. I'm fine with
That's
that.
probably the highlight of the whole show.
Some people here in chat, by the way, are guessing ratings. Do you want to start a weekly? We guess the ratings for Raw.
Fine.
And then whoever wins.
It was over 3 last week, right? For Raw Union.
Yeah, it was over 3.
2.8.
You think they're going to retain 2.8?
What was it? 3.2?
You've gone crazy. What was it the week before? Like 2.1?
It wasn't quite that low. They've gone up a little bit in the last few weeks.
I'm going to say 2.4.
All right.
2.4. Let's see here. Raw
Low
preview.
2.8s.
2.4.
I'm going to be wonderfully or way off on that, but whatever.
Steve. 2.8. Larson. I hope you're right because when their ratings are good,
I really feel like
numbers
people are
good.
going to tune in for the Samoan Summit.
I think that's literally why they're not going to.
I mean, reading this here, that's the top draw for me personally.
Next.
So I think Reigns and Joe are going to do great work together.
I think people are going to be massively turned off by Dolph Ziggler.
That's
Remember
third hour. It'll be a huge third hour drop. It'll be
that
like
time?
3.2, 3.1, 1.5.
Remember that time we were like, oh, man, Stomping Grounds is coming up. Dolph Ziggler in a cage. That's going to be the last we see of him. And he's just main eventing everything now.
I know.
Becky Lynch set to battle Alexa Bliss. Becky Lynch and Natalia's rivalry for the Raw Women's Championship heated up in a hurry, as what was shaping up to be a respectful contest has turned into a series of below-the-belt insults stemming from the pair's time in Japan years before they ever set foot in WWE. Their latest scrap came during the middle of a planned Moment of Bliss interview with the man, and it seems as though Alexa Bliss has had quite enough of her show descending into chaos. She's a professional, Larson. As such, The Wrap, again, confirmed that Becky and Alexa will square up in a non-title match this Monday. It should be an opportunity for the man to get some stress off her chest, but with Nikki Cross at Bliss's flank and Natalia lurking in the wings, boy, they're doing some really good vocab
Some
stuff.
decent writing here, yeah.
Things might not stay one-on-one for long. Tune in to Raw live this Monday, 8/7 Central and USA Network to see what happens next. And then somebody was like, hey, we need another bit in here. It's too short.
Yeah, all right. 24/7 rules.
Perfect.
Despite a cavalcade of legends and Hall of Famers looking to steal his thunder, Drake Maverick narrowly pulled off the heist of the summer, winning back the 24/7 championship and consummating his marriage. That is, until R-Truth pinned him to mark the 9th and final title change of Raw reunion and then sped away in a limo before the embattled 205 Live general manager could give chase. With Maverick at his breaking point and Truth not far behind, it's only a matter of time before one of these superstars attempts something truly drastic.
Ooh, gun. A gun.
Wow.
Yeah. So some more ratings predictions in here. 2.2, 2.69. Nice. 1.8, 2.7, 2.5. Well, let's see. The highest anybody has gone so far, Alex C. with 2.7 and Andrew Paquette with 2.69.
Got you all beat. 2.8.
All right, man. Woo.
I'm going to be wildly off.
Wildly optimistic on that one.
Whatever.
It's Real Wrestling Podcast says it's going to be 3.141567.
That's pi.
Still no endpoint to pi, I saw on the news the other day.
Yeah, no, it goes on forever.
It still goes on forever.
Divide 22 by 7. Just goes on forever.
Just keeps on going, man. Crazy pie. Max!
Oh, pie sounds good.
You're a mathematician, not a numerologist.
When's the last time you seen that movie?
Fairly within the past 6 months.
Oh,
it was
okay.
on Pluto TV, so I just had it on.
That's your favorite network.
Pluto TV is amazing. It is free of charge for now. They even have one channel called Eye Candy, and it's just a bunch of like women in bikinis dancing around endlessly. It's kind of weird. I don't watch that one because Lacey might walk in at any moment and then just make fun of me.
Could be potentially embarrassing for old Steve here.
That's right, JR.
Could be a potential embarrassment for Steve's marriage.
No, I just watch a lot of Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah. What's in the box? Remember the note.
Welcome back, Steve. Thanks for holding down the fort, Larson, the enforcer. He wrote it on cardboard.
That's the best.
Can you go out to Winco and hold this up? Oh, man. This is amazing. This is the best thing I've ever seen.
What?
It's the Picard facepalm bust.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that makes me endlessly happy.
That is so cool.
Thank you so much.
Here, I'll put that up here.
All right. Oh, yeah, I remember this. Okay,
That's
here you
cool.
go. You're going to love this.
I'm going to love this.
You're going to love this. You're going to love my
Minoru
nuts.
Suzuki. Here, hold your bust. I see Minoru Suzuki. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's amazing. Pancrase action figure. Minoru Suzuki. Thank you, Enforcer. That is amazing.
Enforcer, you are too much.
That is amazing.
You're too much.
That is so cool.
Zach Stolpa asked a good question. Stephen Larson, have either of you ever been so drunk you woke up to find you peed yourself?
No.
I have not gone that far.
I have fallen asleep on the floor of a bathroom.
Yeah, I've done that. I've passed out.
I've never soiled myself.
Certificate of authenticity, too.
that's so
Look at
cool.
that. Wow. Very
Amazing.
excited about this.
Amazing. All right, well, I'll go to Twitter and get on these questions then.
Alex C is correct. I'm putting this on my mantle, and it's going to go right next to Dead Turbo. It's going to be Dead Turbo in his ashes, and his little picture, a little shrine, and then Picard. My dad, we were driving. My dad and I, we were driving back from the airport when he picked us up in San Francisco.
Yeah,
and there's a free for military veterans cemetery plot that he ordered for himself.
Oh.
He's like, that's where I'm going to be. I'm like, there's no place closer. It's like in Dixon.
Okay.
I'm like, there's no place closer. I'm like, what if I want to visit you? He's like, you're not going to visit me. I'm like, I'd like to visit you. Like, you're like one of the closest things I have in my life. And I was like, why don't you be cremated? He was like, yeah, I'm thinking of that too. And I'm like, look, we'll cremate you. No, I think he offered this up. He says, why don't you cremate me and then put me in a little thing and then put me up there next to Turbo.
And your response?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'd do that.
All
I'd
right.
talk to my dad every morning.
All right. PB Samurai, what small improvement would you like to see in the wrestling community this week? Also, meme recommendations for my new wrestling friend. What improvement would you like to see in the wrestling community this week? Same
This week?
I mean, that's the same improvement I'd like to see all around. People just be cool.
More but better.
Just be cool, people.
Yeah. That was amazing.
I mean, like Renee Young had that thing on Twitter where she's like, "Yeah, I need. There's room improvement for me as a commentator." People are like, "Well, you should just stop doing it then."
Dude, stop doing it.
Like, stop, people. Just be cool.
I know.
Just be cool.
If you have a thought like that in your head, just shut the up.
Just say it to your phone if you feel like you need to get it out, but don't actually type it. Don't do voice to text. Just say it so you get out of your system and let it float in the air and leave your person forever.
Dither away like a
You
fart.
don't need to make that kind of stuff public.
No, you don't.
Next. Greg Morris. Gun to your head. What is your choice for the main event of Mania? Undertaker, Triple H, Cena, Orton, or Rollins, Dolph? That one of those has to be the main event.
Of Mania.
Taker.
It'd be Cena Orton.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it'd be Cena Orton. They could do something fun.
Yeah. Tim Spulak. Why are they killing Joe? He is so good. Yeah, it'd be cool if he won like a title.
Hey, you know, I was thinking the other day.
Or beat someone major.
You know, it could have been really cool. Just do this.
Huh.
Imagine for a second in a fantasy book here.
All right.
Pluck out Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
And you add Samoa Joe.
Way better.
Everything Shane McMahon has done, that isn't McMahon specific, right? Mm-hmm. But you put Joe in that spot.
Yes.
People would be complaining a lot less about that.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's like a real wrestler.
He would have beaten Roman.
And yeah, it like so much of that could have been so cool. Like a faction with
yeah,
him, the Revival, and Drew.
Been amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
Also, they need to use their wrestlers that they have.
I know. Also, if you haven't, take a look at Tim's GoFundMe.
Oh yeah. Please do that.
Most definitely. You got a super chat here from Charles Miller. Favorite fighting game? Said Evo was this weekend. Never been huge fighting games. Is WCW versus NWO World Tour a fighting game?
No. Well, is it? Yes.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Kind of. You do
that.
Right. I would say so. I've always been most interested in. However, I've always acknowledged that I've sucked at the Mortal Kombat series. I love the fatalities. I think they're so much fun.
Have you ever done one?
And they're clever. On accident, maybe.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think I've ever actually.
Yeah. Quentin.
I think, didn't we have to like try to do some of that for Timber?
Yeah. I tried to learn how to do some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And if I tried a lot, I can maybe do one.
Mm-hmm.
I did a successful one out of 8 or 10 times. Quentin. Juice versus Ishii was hard-hitting goodness. Juice's best match ever. I haven't watched it yet, but that's what I've been hearing. That it's his best match yet. It's supposed to be really good.
Patrick Sparks, how many times will Vince rewrite the show hours before it? What will he do that will be the most detrimental to the product?
You mean just period or just this week?
How many times will Vince rewrite the show hours before? I mean, I think this is going to be endless. That's just how it is now.
Well, here, I don't know. Like we heard that he rewrote SmackDown, but of course Bischoff hasn't really taken charge fully yet.
That Bischoff thing is going to take a while, I think.
I don't think he's going to be rewriting Raw in its entirety anytime soon.
Yeah, that would surprise me as well.
Because that'd be pretty huge. It'd be something major to do to the Heyman when Heyman's supposed to have the reins of the show. You know?
I agree. And yeah, you're sitting next to the guy at Gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I wish that he would have hired somebody like, why didn't he just like, I don't know, promoted? I mean, look, I have no idea how the inner workings are, but like Ryan Ward, like, why don't you just hire like a writer who's good, who's been around and he's got good work under him?
Or see if Road Dogg wants to come back to lead SmackDown.
Yeah, executive director Road Dogg. The Bischoff thing, I don't know. Let's see here. Alex Rodriguez. Who would Shane best of the world?
Who should?
Who should Shane best of the world feud with after KO? Did you watch the latest Botchamania? It's good. At one point, Shane was in there doing a promo. He says, "Best of the world." And then he gets this look on his face because he realized that he didn't say best in the world.
Yeah, I remember him doing that. Shane should feud with like a water cooler or something at Titan Towers. He should take a leave from TV for a while.
You know, the problem with that, though, is that if you feud with a water cooler,
Shane would go over.
There'd be a lot of water cooler on TV.
Anthony Valentine, what's the best vignette for return debut that WWE has ever done?
A vignette. Interesting. I'm not always huge on vignettes. I would say, though, probably Edge. When he debuted,
you think you know me,
and he was just roaming around the streets of like Hollywood or Stamford or wherever they were.
You think you know by Stamford? John Ortolaza, fantasy book a War Games match between Undisputed Era and Metal Weeds. I don't know who that is. Oh, Undisputed Era and Hurricane, RVD, Angle, and Slaughter.
And Metal Weed Slaughter. Oh, man. Okay, well, let's just pair these guys up. Who would Adam Cole take on?
RVD. No, Kurt Angle. Sorry, Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
And then I'd do Roddy and RVD.
Bobby Fish and the Hurricane. I'm sorry, Kyle O'Reilly and the Hurricane.
And then Sergeant Slaughter and Bobby Fish.
That makes sense. I could see Bobby Fish in like a military gimmick, like a cheesy, corny one, like a cartoonish military gimmick, where it's not he's not even like really wearing the military outfit of like a distinct branch of the military. It's like just conglomerated military.
He just bought like some stuff at the Army Navy surplus without really realizing what branch it really
He's got like 5 different
belongs to.
on
yes.
it.
Lord Ziffer, what is your favorite Jericho match of all time?
The one where him and Shawn Michaels got so bloody, Vince stopped doing blood.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Yeah, that's a good answer. Church Jackson recasting Pulp Fiction with WWE stars. Who would play who, and why would Big E be the best Jules?
No, Samoa Joe easily would be the best Jules. That's like not even a question right there. Big E could be a decent gimp. Come on, that's his thing. He's all sexual and stuff. Makes sense. Rusev would be Bruce Willis. And
Okay.
Lana would be his girlfriend.
Okay. Who would be Vic Vega? John Travolta.
Drew. Think him and Samoa Joe in the car together?
Yeah, the problem is like Travolta's character had some vulnerability, and Drew has zero vulnerability.
Yeah, to see Drew out of, because I mean basically like Vincent Vega was sort of in over his head when it came
Vincent
to
Vega,
the,
sorry, not Vic Vega, sorry.
he was sort of in over his head with the Uma Thurman stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to see Drew tackle.
Seth Rollins.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins would be he'd be Quentin Tarantino's character.
Oh, good.
Tell me you don't see that much more than him being Vincent Vega. That'd be far. That makes much more sense.
Oof.
Who would be Harvey Keitel?
Oh, the Fixer.
The Fixer. Triple H would be Ving Rhames.
Paul Heyman.
Oh, that's really good. Well, I think we just casted a really good one.
Eamon, what have been some of your favorite matches of the G1 so far? I mean, Ospreay Okada was awesome. Sonata Zack Sabre Jr. is a lot of fun. Looking forward. Did you see that little bit from
really
that
need to
tag
see
match between Sabre and Ospreay? Ospreay put it on Twitter. This little sequence they had during a 6-man tag was
Really cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
So I have high hopes for their match.
I did see Zack Sabre Jr.'s post-match meltdown where he blamed his entire lousy G1 on Boris Johnson.
That's great.
That was amazing. That was so great. And then Moxley's post-Naito match.
Oh, that was fun
with,
too.
With Shooter.
With Shooter, yeah.
Come on, Shooter.
Dragon Reborn says water cooler bubbles noises. I guess that's when Shane takes on
John Moxley, winner of G1 29. That's right.
All right, we're done here.
All right, we're done. Come on, Shooter.
So good.
Oh, man, it's so good. Let's see here. Colin, is it best to leave the Bray versus Finn feud as is until their match? I feel like they can't do regular WWE promo feud booking with this one because there's a risk of Bray looking bad. So what do you think the next step with Finn Bray should be?
I liked how they did the. It's got a good weight to it.
Yeah.
Where Finn was on camera.
Real bust, Jack.
It is a real bust on camera, and then Bray responded via Firefly Funhouse. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Deontay, what will it take for Seth Rollins to get in the good graces with the fans after all his pettiness?
Just maybe delete his Twitter.
Or just like, I don't know.
Put on some amazing matches. Stop talking about your bank account. Don't be so nerdy.
Like,
It's pretty simple.
act tougher?
Yeah. People don't want to dislike Seth.
No, they
really
want to
don't.
like him. I want to like him.
Me too.
Blake Elizondo, is Punk's texting isn't a good way to do business idea just him being petty, or is it a glimpse into future issues AEW must correct?
It's just a glimpse into how Punk feels about doing business.
Well, on his phone, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, I wonder if, especially these days on the indies, that kind of stuff happens all the time.
It's probably just so dumb. I mean, it kind of makes you wonder, what was the the Genesis of the ESPN interview was talking about StarCast. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, they always have to ask.
I know.
You getting back to wrestling? You doing AEW? What's going on with AEW? So he's probably just so over talking about that stuff. Like, poor guy just doesn't want to do.
He doesn't want to wrestle anymore. He's over it.
He doesn't want to do it anymore.
Moved on.
Ask him about making comic books or something.
Yeah.
Martin Geese, will you guys ever come out for a Defy show? I saw Cal Jack there, and it was an absolute blast. It's like Seattle's PWG. It does look great. And Cal was selling it to us. He was texting us while he was there. I just name dropped him. I text Cal Jack all the time.
I text him all the time.
And he was telling us how great it was.
Yeah.
Maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe if I hope I'm not out of line suggesting this, but if Defy were to book Cal Jack, maybe you and I would then take a trip up to lovely Seattle.
Yeah, I've never been to Seattle.
And check it out. Do a Friendo Road.
Stuart Lee, this is an interesting question. Since All Elite won't be doing many house shows, do you think they will be more meaningful and canonical than a standard WWE house show?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they're very savvy with social media.
Mm-hmm. If anything were to happen of consequence at a house show, I'm sure it would be widely reported by themselves.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I would suspect that maybe they would have more consequential stuff. Well, they're also Cody's very much a traditionalist, and usually that kind of stuff doesn't really happen at house shows. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to find out, though. Wayne Maker, super chat, Avastella on me. Thank you, Wayne Maker.
Thank you, Wayne. Jason Lewis, would you rather go to the Shoney's in Ackworth, Georgia, and eat with Scott Steiner, or to a barbecue picnic in Knox County, Tennessee, and eat with Kane?
Oh, I'd love to pick Kane's brain. The Kane brain.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to do that.
Especially at a campaign event. It'd be interesting to see him in his new element.
I know.
It'd be interesting. Anthony Tobias, who do you think will hand Moxley his first loss at the G1, and do you believe he will finish the tour undefeated?
Hold on. Going back to the Jason Lewis question, do you think Steiner has old man food eating habits where like it dribbles out a lot?
I don't think he's quite that old
Just
yet.
ends up on his mouth?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, wrestling puts a lot of years on your body.
Loud chewer, yay or nay for Scott Steiner?
Well, he's definitely a chew talker. Like, he probably talks.
Probably,
well,
yeah. I wonder if he's such a busy man, he feels like he's just in such a hurry to eat that he just chews really loudly.
And plus, he's in his business element also.
Yeah.
That's his restaurant there.
Yeah.
Anyways, Anthony Tobias, who will hand Moxley his first loss at the G1, or will he finish the tour undefeated? You think the Juice is going to beat him? Who's left? Who's he got left on the docket?
He's got Yano, I believe. I think. And then he's got... Wait, is Yano in the same bracket as he is?
Is Kenta?
No. Kenta lost to Okada.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
No, yeah, Yano is in the same bracket.
Yano's in it.
You know, he's got Yano. He's got Juice.
I was pretty shocked that they had Naito lose to him.
More person.
For a guy who...
Goto? I don't think he's wrestled Goto yet. Or Jay White. One of those two.
I could see him potentially losing to Jay White. Not Goto.
No, he's not going to lose to Goto. It's entirely possible he can end up undefeated and just lose to Okada in the final.
That could be, which is, I mean, kind of surprising given that he's such a central piece of AEW, and they seemingly really don't want to. I mean, they're able to. Sometimes their logic is so odd to me. I'm sure they know what they're doing.
I wonder if they just feel like the benefits of having him have a strong run in the tournament outweighs whatever spotlight they can give him.
And it helps the U.S. title as well.
Yep.
And he's doing really good work there.
Yeah, he is.
You know?
It looks like he's having an absolute blast.
It does, yeah.
Justin Warren, do you think you guys would enjoy WWE wrestling without reading the dirt sheets, or would you still feel the same way?
I would be bored more.
Yeah.
I would be more bored without the dirt sheets. You and I have always said, even going back 20 years, we've always said that the behind-the-scenes stuff is more fascinating than what happens in between the ropes. And that's true.
Kay Latham has an interesting question. Do you guys have any thoughts on Wrestle Circus closing its doors?
It's a bummer.
It is a bummer.
For sure.
I mean, we always say the more places talents can go to get work, to make money, to make a living doing what they love is better for the industry as a whole. I don't know any of the details. I mean, the two statements released aren't exactly detail packed. But it's a bummer. So I know they at a certain point they were picking up steam. I think they had to close up for a little bit, and they just kind of relaunched.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It's a bummer that it seemed like they were doing something there in Austin, and then seemingly it's not happening anymore.
Jeremy Kirk here also notes that they possibly haven't refunded any of their customers also. Well, hopefully they do that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Trey Sherman, I'm having a hard time getting excited for AEW. I like some of the wrestlers they have, but so far their presentation hasn't wowed me. Am I missing something? Have you guys ever tried a new wrestling product and came away unimpressed or just indifferent? That's how you felt about Lucha Underground, kind of, right?
Lucha Underground, so, I mean, kind of. Lucha Underground didn't hit me so hard that I was like, oh, God, sorry. That I was like, oh, man, I got to catch the next one, which is generally how I want to feel about wrestling. I thought that their presentation was cool, but just not really my thing.
Yeah.
I appreciated what people felt about it. As far as Trey's concerns here, Trey, it's very possible that AEW just isn't going to be your thing. Mm-hmm. That's totally fine. It's less time you have to devote to stuff.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's fine. Have you ever tried a new wrestling product and were just sort of unimpressed?
When I tried to get into Ring of Honor the first time.
Oh, that's the big one. Yeah. It was
largely presentation issues.
It's like 90% presentation issues.
Yeah.
These days, it's like also like 10% like who's on their roster because they don't really have anybody. But although I do like Maria Manic, I think she's cool. But yeah, the Ring of Honor's presentation is just not anything I want to see in wrestling.
Yeah.
It's so hokey.
Yeah. Suzuki Goon. Would WWE put Jushin Thunder Liger in the Hall of Fame? I believe he's had one match at WWE, and that was in NXT. If he had retired, if he had started wrestling 20 years ago and retired 20 years ago, then I'd say there's a good chance of that happening. But now that they probably view New Japan a lot more these days than they ever have as competition, I'd be kind of surprised.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you just said.
Juan Guerrero Jr., Mr. Triple Mania. Friendos, this week is the week. Predictions for Triple Mania. We're going to save that for our Friday news show.
Yeah, we'll do that then.
Our completely uninformed Triple Mania predictions.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Alex P. will finish on this one, says, how are you guys? How's life treating you?
It's hot here.
It's hot heat.
It was a hot weekend.
We've got hot heat.
We went up to the foothills to try to get away from the heat a little bit.
Heat.
Thinking it might be a little cooler. It was slightly cooler. It wasn't 108, which it was here in the valley. It was maybe 103. Still too hot.
We stayed. What did I do on Saturday?
I didn't do anything Saturday. I did nothing Saturday.
We went to go see my sister's new dog.
Oh, they got a dog?
Luna.
Oh.
Yeah.
What kind of dog?
Part husky and part something much smaller than a husky. So she's like a mid-sized husky.
Oh, that's interesting.
She is absolutely freaking adorable.
Puppy or no?
3 years old.
Okay, so just out of puppy
Mellow
phase. Mellow
as can be.
Oh, look at that.
Very trusting. And her previous owner seemed to be kind of a turd, and in fact lied about a lot of the aspects of her. Like said she isn't potty trained, she is. It was bad. Like all the rundown, I was like, man, this is a crap dog. But my sister was like, she seems totally cool.
Yeah,
so she took a bit of a leap of faith, and so far she's been
sure enough.
Yeah, she's been great.
I did watch some more of that Netflix show Dark.
Oh, how'd you like? Would you like it?
It's interesting. You'd get into it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've always wanted to. I saw Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, is that good?
Holy crap. Like, might be on my top 10 movies of the past, 10 years. It is flippin' fantastic. Like, the level of animation, the design is just unreal. It's one of those movies, I didn't even know they could make movies like this.
Yeah, those are fun.
That good.
Those are fun to watch.
So good.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't had a chance to see it. When I get done with Dark in, a month and a half, then I'll check it out.
What did I do on Saturday?
I did nothing on Saturday.
That sounds awesome. I thought I did something else. Oh, yeah, I went to go have lunch with, I went to a wedding on Friday. I went to have lunch with my old high school friends on Saturday. It was fun. It was cool.
Reminiscing and such, huh?
Good reminiscing. Yeah, exactly. What are you up to these days? Nothing. Cool.
Nothing.
Right on.
Yeah, it's kind of the same I was doing a few years ago.
Quesadilla. Went to El Tapatio over on Sunday.
Oh, that's good. I like that place.
Yeah, it was pretty decent. Anyways, what do you got coming up for bonus episode?
Still looking into that.
All right, sounds good. So $1 and up patrons, all YouTube channel members, stay tuned in about 10 to 15 minutes. We have a bonus show. A couple last super chats here. Dragon Reborn. You need to check out The Boys TV show. I was a huge fan of the comic, at least the very first 2 graphic novels that were released. I was a big fan of that, and a friend of ours writes for The Boys. I'll give you a hint. Can I use your internet? I did not. Yeah, Big Jeff told me that.
Oh, it's not a one.
So that's cool. Everybody's been talking good things about it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it.
So I'm going to check it out this week. Brian Jankowski also, he said, I've heard a few different places that say Vince is a flat earth believer. Does this surprise you? The look on your face right there says yes. And yeah, that would kind of surprise me too.
I mean,
well, does anything really surprise anybody?
No,
with
nothing
Vince
surprised me
McMahon?
about Vince, but
I have not seen Spider-Man Far From Home yet. That is next on my agenda. So we're going to get final confirmation here on this Truth Exposed.
We'll do that on post show.
All right. Well, check us out in post show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
Be a part of Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Starting at $1 a month, you can enjoy Going In Raw ad-free, gain access to the daily 30-minute Going In Raw post show, exclusive merchandise, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.